Hello and welcome back to FPL Mate, the home of slightly above average FPL content, and today I'm going to be doing a video of my team selection and transfers going into game week 31 plus. I know it seems like game week 31 plus must be a million miles away, but it's on Tuesday, so it's actually really fast approaching. I'm recording this on Sunday, the 21st, so I'm not sure how up to date this stuff I'm going to be saying today is, but hopefully it'll be fairly up to date. As of now, Chelsea Aston Villa has just finished, so that's where we're at in terms of how far up to date we are. But anyway, let's go straight into my team. Now, I want to preface this this team selection video by saying I did use my free hits in game week 30 plus. So the team that I've got now is actually the team that I had across the break. So it's going to be it's a little bit retro in terms of what was looking good before the break, but I hope that I made enough transfers during the break to make my team look good. The way I've set it up is basically for an eventual bench boost, and I've spent absolutely literally every penny of my money, so there's nothing in the bank right now. So any transfers that I make, I can have to be transferring down. But let's go straight into the team. So in goal, I've got Leno. Now, unfortunately, Leno did pick up that injury in the loss against Brighton, so that is really unfortunate for him, and unfortunate as well for any FPL managers who had picked him for his really good looking games. I mean, he makes so many saves, he's such a valuable keeper, so that's going to be the problem area. I do have McCarthy on my bench, as I said, I'm set up for a bench boost, so McCarthy is there if I did want to switch. But I'm not quite sure I'm going to do that. But we'll move on to the transfers and what kind of things I could do for transfers in just a second. So yeah, so Leno probably he's not going to play, so, but at the moment he's there in my team. Going into defence, we'll go AlexanderArnold. That's who I've got right now. He's been essential all season. I've never really had any particular plans of taking him out. I have seen that he's going to be starting against Everton, so that means that he's fit, he's ready to go. Does that mean that he might perhaps not play against Crystal Palace if there's going to be rotation? Possibly. Do have a strong bench, so I can cover it if needed. But that is my only slight concern with AlexanderArnold. Is he going to be rotated? Is Jurgen Klopp going to be playing his full-strength squad against Crystal Palace? I would hope so. He wants to win the league as soon as possible, I imagine, so there's no reason why he wouldn't play. But Trent Alexander-Arnold against Crystal Palace could be a really good player, just for at least in the short term, I think. So next up in defence is Daugherty, and oh my god, he smashed it again this week, lads. He really has. He wasn't in my free hit team, unfortunately. I did think about putting him in, decided against it in the end. But yeah, he was in my team before the break because he was doing so well. He's playing such an advanced position. I feel like him and Trent Alexander-Arnold are basically midfielders at midfield prices, and like reasonable prices if they were midfielders, because the amount of contributions they get. Plus, they're also in solid defences, so they get the clean sheet bonuses. So I think those two players are really super essential. But finally, I'm going to be rounding off my defence with Aaron Wan-Bissaka. Manchester United looking really good in defence. I sort of had the choice over the break to have to bring in either him or Maguire. I did want to get in some sort of Man United defence because their defence was doing really well before the break, looking a lot more solid. And they've got awesome fixtures as well, so that's really good as well. In midfield, I've got Kevin De Bruyne, essential, again, smashing it this week. I didn't captain him on my free hit because I'm an idiot, but we'll leave that. I did say in pretty much all of my videos, just captain De Bruyne, he's the most obvious choice to pick. He's going to smash it. He did smash it, and now I'm sort of paying the price for not using my own advice, but I do still have him in my team, and I would not want to go without him. He's probably the only Manchester City player I want moving forward, as City perhaps don't have so much to play for. There'll be a lot of rotation, and De Bruyne is one of those safer picks in an absolutely excellent squad, and he's a quality player as well. Next up in midfield, I have got Mo Salah. Mo Salah not starting against Everton as I record this. So apparently he's not quite fit, he's not quite up to speed. Him and Robertson apparently not quite ready yet, but will they be ready for Wednesday against Crystal Palace? I would hope so. Again, you'd hope that Jurgen Klopp puts in the best possible team to try and win that league for the first time in 30 years, or however long it's been for Liverpool. So I think Salah this is probably going to be possibly the last week where having Salah / Mane is going to be a really viable selection. After that, I think it could become a little bit more risky. So I am happy to keep Salah for just this week at least. Next up, Bruno Fernandes. again, another player, and this is becoming a bit of a theme here. There are so many players now that I feel like you literally just have to have, and Bruno Fernandes is quickly becoming almost as essential as De Bruyne in your team. Like, I really wouldn't want to not have him right now, and if you don't have him, I really think you need to bring him in. We know he's on penalties now, which is really important information. He seems to be the heart and soul of all attacks for Manchester United, so he's going to be getting those assists, creating chances, and what have you, and potentially diving a few times to win some penalties as well, as we've seen. So yeah, Bruno Fernandes, absolutely essential. And then got to go for a little cheapie to finish off the midfield, because, you know, we can't spend millions and millions and millions and millions. We only have a certain amount of budget. So I've got Harvey Barnes. There's his epic, was it 19-pointer before the break? I think that set him as part of my team, and I'm very confident to have him. I think I only picked him up for something like 5.96 million. I think it's 6.2 million now. But at the time, what a snip. So I'm very happy to keep him as a cheap, slightly differential midfielder, to be fair, as well. He is a slight differential. So and it does allow you into the Leicester attack as well. You do need to, I think Leicester still are a very good team, and you still do need to be in and around their attack in some way. Defenders I'm not so keen on. They're not keeping so many clean sheets and what have you, but in the attack I want to stay on that train, definitely. Moving into attack, and it's Aubameyang. Now this is another potential problem area. He's had a couple of blanks now, a fair few blanks now, I think, actually, in a row, if you count before the break as well. But he's Aubameyang. You know that eventually he's going to get the goals again. He's not suddenly become a terrible player, has he? Or at least I really hope not. So yeah, him against Southampton. Southampton not much to play for, even though Southampton did very well against Norwich. I do think Aubameyang's got to score eventually. He's not going to never score again. So there is an argument to say that a lot of people are going to be dumping Aubameyang, whipping him out of their team, giving up on him. So this might be a chance for Aubameyang to actually become a little bit of a differential, just a slightly more differential. Obviously his ownership is still pretty high, but he could become a little bit of a cutting edge part of my team, which I kind of want to give him a little bit more faith whilst his fixtures are so good. So we'll see how that goes. I think it's a wait and see, and then just keep him until something really bad happens, I guess. Next up is Dominic Calvert-Lewin. I checked his price today. I can't believe he's 6.5 million. I think I got him at 5.7, 5.8, and now he's sort of become one of the most essential cheap attackers in the game. Like, it's such a good value for this player, and he's up against Norwich, who looked woeful, quite frankly, against Southampton. We all thought, hang on a minute, these relegation threatened sides such as Bournemouth and Norwich, they've got to really pick it up and force themselves out of those relegation zones. They're going to be coming out absolutely smashing it. But as it turns out, they're relegation threatened teams for a very good reason, and that's because they're not quite up to the standard of Premier League football by the looks of things. So very happy to have Calvert-Lewin, and I think it's very important that we have some kind of Everton attacker in this particular fixture. The other option is Richarlison, of course, but a little bit expensive, and I think he doesn't offer much more than Calvert-Lewin anyway, so happy to keep Calvert-Lewin again. And finally, and I'm a little bit sceptical about this one, I've got Jota in my final attacking position against Bournemouth. Very good fixture again, but he's not Jimenez, is he? I actually took out Jimenez and put in Jota over the break to try and free up a bit of money to improve my bench, and I'm sort of regretting it in many ways. I mean, we did see that when Wolves lined up, they lined up with two strikers, and Jota was playing as the second striker rather than on the wing. So I guess that's a positive, but he didn't look too good in that game. So I do still wish I have Jimenez instead there, but like I said, I freed up a little bit of money. So yeah, so I've got Jota. Hopefully that can somehow come through. He's a little bit more creative, a little bit more, blows hot and cold, but he can get those massive hauls. So you know what, maybe I could live to be very happy to have Jota over Jimenez, but it's a bit of a coin toss there, really, isn't it? And then on my bench, I've got my the quintessential backup playing keeper anyway, in McCarthy, who I've had forever. But I'm happy to just keep on having him because he didn't cost me very much. I think 4.3 I got him for, so I'm very happy to just keep him for now. And then I've got Lascelles as my first sub, just because he plays Aston Villa. Newcastle kept a clean sheet today, so, you know, there might be more where that came from. And then I've got Henderson. I think I just got Henderson in because I knew I didn't really want another Liverpool player, and Henderson was playing really well before he got injured, getting the goals and assists and what have you, and he was looking really good, and he's a massive differential as well. In fact, the only valid differential in the Liverpool team. So, yeah, I was very happy to pull him in just in case I should want to do a bench boost, which it looks like I might not actually do for a couple of weeks. Not sure yet. Could be next week potentially for a bench boost for me, but we'll see. And then finally on the bench, I've got Egan, who was in my free hit team starting. Unfortunately, got a red card, conceded 3 goals. He's had an absolute mare. I'm worrying a little bit about Sheffield United at the moment. I really am. But he's on my bench, so it's not like, and he can't play anyway. So no real concern there. It's just a case of whether I want to get him out and free up some funds at some point in the future. We'll see, I guess. So moving on to transfers, and the very obvious problem area is Leno being injured. He's not going to play next game week. What do we do? Do we just bring in McCarthy? McCarthy plays against Arsenal. Arsenal haven't been very good, quite frankly, but they are still Arsenal. So, I don't know. I'm not convinced about keeping McCarthy and having him in goal, because something part of me tells me, especially as I'm keeping Aubameyang, that I want Aubameyang to score goals, and I don't want to hedge my bets really on that particular one. So I do think I want to replace the keeper. Do I go for the super cheap Emi Martinez of Arsenal, Arsenal's backup goalkeeper? Could he offer something? Probably not. Arsenal's defence looking absolutely awful as usual. Do I think that will continue? Absolutely. So I think perhaps just move away from Arsenal completely, especially in defence, and perhaps eventually in attack as well. So my thoughts is probably Leno to Pope. Pope seems the by far the obvious choice. You know, top scoring goalkeeper. Well, I think he was, at least before the break, the top scoring goalkeeper in the game. Particularly from all his penalty saves, like he's absolutely an absolute giant. He's done so well, and he gets bonus points all the time as well. Like every time Burnley keep a clean sheet, he's getting bonus points. I think it's because he makes a lot of saves, and he's just a really good goalkeeper. So yeah, I think that's the obvious choice. It's a slight downgrade in terms of price. I think I gained 0.1 by making this transfer, and it's, I think, probably actually a progressive move. And I do want to have 2 keepers. Like I say, I do want to have 2 playing keepers, just so I can do my bench boost at some point. So I think that's the obvious move. Other potential moves, I guess, are Aubameyang to Jimenez, take up that third or Wolves spot, just because I really want Jimenez. So I think that might have to be done at some point. Do I even take a -4 and do both? I don't think I'd do that. I think if I was going to take Aubameyang out and put Jimenez in, I'd just play McCarthy. But at the moment, I'm thinking just Leno to Pope, straight, easy swap. I was hoping to bank a transfer, really, but that's not going to happen. And then see how Aubameyang does against Southampton. And then let's just have a quick look at his fixtures after Southampton. He's got Norwich at home. Do I want to keep Aubameyang for Norwich at home? Yes, I do. I definitely do. Wolves away, perhaps not. Leicester home, perhaps not. Tottenham away, perhaps not. So it could be that I keep Aubameyang in just for this week and next week, and then think about moving him on after that. So right now, we'll keep Aubameyang. We'll replace Leno with Pope, and that will be my team. For captain, I think I've got to go Salah. Liverpool to win the league. Salah, the star player of that team, is he going to come onto the scene, like, do it amazingly? I mean, the other option is Daugherty, which is a little bit more, I don't know, it's a little bit more out there. People don't tend to captain defenders very often. But Daugherty, he plays so advanced that perhaps actually that could be the right move. I can't see Bournemouth scoring against Wolves. I can see Daugherty getting goal contributions, perhaps an assist or a goal. It could very much happen. I think Salah's ceiling is a little bit higher. Salah could come out and get a hat-trick. So, yeah, there is that to consider too. But I think it's, for me at the moment, it's out of those two, Daugherty or Salah for captain. I'm going to say Salah for now. but I could easily make a last minute change on that one, and I don't think it would be a bad decision either. Unlike, I don't know if any of you follow me on Twitter, but I captained Lundstrom in my free hit team, which was, as it turns out, a terrible thing to do considering I said captain De Bruyne. But there you go, that's my team, that's what I'm thinking, that's my thought process. I wonder if you guys have any thoughts on my team, what I should perhaps do. Please do let me know, or if you have any questions on what you want to do with your team, ask away and I will try my best to advise. I'll try and give the sensible answers and keep the risky punts to myself. I think that's the best way of doing things. But yeah, that's my team. Thank you so much for watching. If you are new around here, please do consider subscribing, like the video if you like liking things. I hope you do. Other than that, thank you very much for watching, and I will see you on the next one. Plenty more to come as always. Love FPL, love the Premier League, especially when Arsenal are getting battered. But yeah, good luck everyone in your game week, and see you on the preview video, I hope. Catch you later, mates. Catch you later. Close enough. See you later.